Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to Aforadio. Right smack in the middle of the week. It's already the 9th of December. Hope the day is treating you right and everything is just, going according to your plans. But, okay, if it is not, then don't get so overwhelmed. Just sit down for a while and restructure everything and everything will go perfectly. Okay, so life is just like that, and I think living through 2020, it kind of got us prepared for what else to come, because 2020 hit us like a ton of brick, and we were like startled, right? We didn't know what to do, and we had to pivot. We had to look at our plans and then change it accordingly. Okay, and I think everyone was in the same situation as well. This afternoon on the show, we're going to be talking to two very important gentlemen to the Paralympic Council of Malaysia, and they're going to tell us how they've managed things throughout 2020. Like I said, it's been a very difficult year for most of us. So how did they do it? How did they pivot and rethink their plans? Well, we'll just have to talk to the both of them. So this afternoon, I am very, very, very happy to have the main people, the main man of the Paralympic Council of Malaysia. We've got Dato Sri Megat di Shariman bin Dato Zaharudin, and also First Admiral Dato Subramaniam Raman Nair. They are the President and the Secretary General of the Paralympic Council of Malaysia. So let's welcome them to the show this afternoon. Hello! Welcome to the show, gentlemen. How are you all today?
Good, Meg. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Yes, I can hear you. I know you two are very, very busy gentlemen, but you've made time to spend with us. So I am very honored. Thank you so much. Now, 2020 has been a very interesting year. How have you two managed? We've already come to the final leg of 2020 and everyone's hoping that 2021 will be better. So, how have you been doing things throughout the year? Dato, you want to start first?
Can I go first?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Personally, for me and family, what we do is that, number one, we have to adhere to the government's advice. So that's what we've been doing. That's very basic. Number two is that regarding Paralympic, it's we have to adapt to the new norms. I think we have to change ideas and get approval. We will work together with MS. KBS for their input and whatever advice they could give us. So it's basically it's a very a 3-4 parties engagement for PCM for us to move to a new era now. Actually, the new norms now. So I think it's not easy for us just to do it by yourself without getting approval or getting any feedback from other parties. So I think Dato Subra could sum up all for me. So I think he says he will advise more better lah. I will just stay put. That's all. Hand to you.
Thank you, Dato Sri. Thank you, Meg. Personally, for me as an individual, yes, it has been a difficult year. But then we all, being a sailor before in my career, I'm used to stormy weathers. So certainly we have to abide by regulations.
Did we lose Dato Subra? Is he there?
Yes, Dato Subra is here, but we're losing you, Dato Sri.
Where are you? I think they have. I think Meg. I think there's something wrong with the Wi-Fi or the line. Should we wait for him or I?
Dato Sri, can you hear? Can you hear me, Dato Sri?
I think Dato Sri is.
You're pixelated right now. I think we're losing him.
Shall I continue?
So, yes, please.
Okay. So it has been a difficult year, but we have to manage.
Yeah.
So part of our responsibility as a Secretary General, I have to constantly monitor the SOPs and the guidelines issued by the government
Okay.
and pass it on to a member association so that they are in compliance to things, and so that we don't get into any trouble with any authorities.
Yeah.
And we had to show some good examples. So other than that, we are managing all right. And it is time for us to do a lot of housekeeping, updating a lot of our procedures and things like that. Go ahead, man. Yep.
Absolutely. I like the fact that you started with, being a sailor, you're trained to face whatever comes towards you. I think that kind of put things into perspective, because this year has indeed been a very challenging one. The waves have been hitting us nonstop. And I think a person like you can definitely, know how to maneuver through that stormy weather, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, if you're watching us this afternoon, welcome to the show. We are, of course, speaking to First Admiral Dato Subramaniam Raman Nair. He is the Secretary General of the Paralympic Council of Malaysia. And a while ago, we also had Dato Sri Megat, who is the President of the Paralympic Council of Malaysia. Unfortunately, Dato Sri's internet is a bit laggy this afternoon, but we hope to get him back in time, throughout the whole show. So if you're joining us, you're more than welcome to drop a comment in the comment section below. And I think we've got quite a number of comments already. Thank you so much for joining us. June Lim, who is tuning in, she says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen." Then we've also got Simon Chin, who's tuning in, who's also saying, "Good afternoon, Dato Sri and Dato," and they are glad to see you both on the show with me this afternoon. Now, speaking about weathering the challenges throughout 2020, what were some of the challenges faced by the Paralympic Council of Malaysia, Dato?
Mag, I think when we started off the year, January, and all the things, looking forward for the Olympics, Paralympics, which are supposed to take place in
Correct.
August. But we had all the plans drawn up. In fact, last year itself, we drew up our plans and what kind of activities we wanted to do.
Yeah.
We had some major activities like Sukma was supposed to take place in Johor. All right, and then we're supposed to have the Manila Games, ASEAN Para Games in Manila.
Yep.
So a few things were planned, but unfortunately when March 18 thing was announced, so we had to stand down, basically close down all our activities, shut down all our activities. We were told not to organize any events, no spectators, no.
Yep.
So a lot of things were on standstill until about June. We had to reactivate because when things were a bit loosened up a bit, because being athletes, if you sit down quietly, you
get restless.
Yes, restless is one thing. You're not building up your skills and improving things, So there's time lost. And age is going up on top of that. So you have to manage all these things.
Yep.
So yes, we went through a lot of these difficult times, but we were guided and assisted by the Ministry of Sports, who constantly went to MKN, and they gave, for sports, these are the kind of guidelines you should relax. For example, they say in golf, no golf. You can play golf by one person to one buggy. Usually two persons. So those kind of guidelines assisted us a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. Dato Sri is back.
Dato Sri, we were talking about the challenges faced by the PCM and the athletes. So Dato Subra has actually walked us through, the challenges faced by the athletes. What about yourself? What are some of the challenges faced by the council itself?
I can make it short and sweet. I see the council would, the biggest challenge is that we can't do sports events, you see.
Yeah.
So then when you can't do sports event, like what Dato Subra said earlier, is that the athlete gates, they don't have tournaments, even though they're training, but then they don't manage to see whether their performance has rise up or not. But then the other thing is that also the association that we have under MPM, that they can't do any activity, they are not be able to take technical director courses, they can't do their professional courses overseas, so they cannot brush up the skills, they cannot be another 2-3 tiers. So these are the things that are a bit sad. And also the sports industry in terms of the suppliers, the sports brands and all that. So it's basically an ecosystem that hits all of us. So as PCM, as at the top, we these are our affiliates, these are our members that we also work hand to hand, and we are there because of them. So the most important thing is that we have to guide, like Dato Subra also mentioned, guide them in terms of SOP, in terms of how do we will lose, because it's a world pandemic, you see. In terms of effect, maybe 80% of the whole sports industry is affected. But then how do we not lose out? How do we not totally be lost in the whole pandemic and all that? So we try to survive, but then we're making everybody hang on there. We're trying our best, and if there is ideas or anything that we could exchange notes with MKN, with KBS, MSN, with the relative body, I think this is what the best that we could do. And we're not even Olympic is also affected, but then they are trying to find a solution. So I keep on telling all the president, even the association, say that we are together. If we need to take this hit together as a family, let's do it, because it only makes us stronger. So that's the only thing that we can do as for now.
Absolutely. I love that. Together as a family. I think they feel that as well, isn't it? The athletes, they feel part of this huge family. But how have you managed them throughout this whole year, though? I mean, there is a lot of social distancing. Some of them have been apart from families as well. And I think as athletes, training keeps your mind off certain issues. But when you are idle and you don't really have much to do, that's when there are other health conditions or mental health conditions, whether they're thinking, oh, what do I do now? I don't really have anything to do. And there's so many things that can bug your mind. So how do you manage the athletes then?
Dato, you can go, or
You can start.
Okay. To me, again, I like to make it simple, and I keep on telling the athletes it's difficult. But what we're trying to do is that we're trying to give them maybe a psychological psychologically. You got to beef up some training, some courses. I told them some workshop online that they have to go through, even though that sometimes trainings are not allowed to do it. You're away from family, and if my own self, I stay home, I don't do anything, I go cuckoo, is it?
Yeah.
But then we want them to communicate. That's the best way daily that we could do. Their condition, if they feel that they are lethargic, if they feel that I'm down, there's nothing to do, I'm gaining weight, I don't feel, I miss my family. So what we try to do is to tell the ministry that we need more psychological training, we need more new technology to make sure that they don't feel that they are. That's why I told them, let's digitalize the whole training concept, not only on the field or on the track, but then there are systems. They are making they make athletes to think, to be different, to look at different angles. So I would leave that to ISN or the subject matter expert to look at it. I could only suggest, but I don't want to elaborate, then it will take longer. So I think this is a very modest way of us approaching athletes, because we have to be realistic. I am not a counselor. I'm not a motivator, but I do care the athletes like my own brother and sisters. But that's the only way we could do as a family member, like I mentioned just now. Be close to them, be close to that, and we have to come together. That's the only way to reach to anybody. Be nice. Be a friend to them. Then we know the problem. So I told, I might not be an expert, but I'm an expert in gaining people's heart. So leave it to me.
That's really nicely said. Very nice. Dr. Subra, anything to add?
Yes, I think the athletes which were most affected and we had to manage properly were the elite athletes, i.e. the top class athletes. Who were expecting to compete in international tournaments, especially, it's a big year of Tokyo Paralympics, Manila, and of course, so these guys, girls, they have been training for a long time, and looking forward to compete. Of course, to get to Tokyo, you must first qualify.
Yep.
So the way you qualify is you compete in sanctioned tournaments which are organized worldwide.
Yep.
And once you go there, you meet the mark, then you get a ticket to go to Tokyo.
Yep.
Because of this pandemic, all international tournaments have been cancelled, rescheduled. So there was no opportunity for them to go and prove and book a ticket for themselves. So that is the biggest disappointment faced by the top athletes. You see, for them, especially if they are under MSN program, top athletes, it is not only bringing glamour to the country, and it's also food on the table for them. All right, some of
Absolutely.
them are dependent on payment allowances because
Yep.
if they win certain tournaments, they get
The-
rewarded. Like if winning a gold medal at Paralympic, like what happened in Rio 2016, is 1 million ringgit per gold medal. So these are things that has affected them. Again, so we have to, as what Dato Sri mentioned, engage them. And I think our Dato Sri has been more than a family member to them.
So kind of Dato' Subra.
No problem. So we have organized a lot of aid programs. Like tomorrow, we are organizing some aid to give them some food supplement, food, and give vouchers. There are a lot of people who step forward to come and give donations. So we distribute to these people.
Okay. All right. Brilliant. I think, it's really difficult to motivate someone who is demotivated, isn't it? I mean, they were all psyched and prepped, and they had their goals set for 2020. It's sad to see that everything just had to be, completely changed. But I'm glad that the both of you did as much as you can to help them through this very difficult period, and I know that they appreciate it as well. So how have you been running your training and preparations for the upcoming sports events?
For PCM, basically what we do, we always we constantly monitor the plans made by the national and international authorities, and they will update us, and we would also convey and also advise how do we do the whole sports event, and also some what we do is we also liaise with the Malaysian Sports Council (MSN), and also some of the member association to see what kind of activities or what kind of sports that we could do. We get advice, and from there, then we will take the necessary steps. And but for the athletes, I think MSN is monitoring them directly. But we also have athletes that's outside of the program whereby they are not under the MSN. So sometimes we cannot neglect the athletes are not under the Malaysian Sports Council. So
Of course.
like what Dato' Subra said earlier, we do we get them together, we monitor them, and we also ask the association to also monitor. We help as best as they can, and also we tell them that not only that you're not in the program, you can't follow the way of how the athletes are under the program. So we exchange notes. We make sure that the coaches be able to help them. So it's basically Mac, like you said, it's a working collaboration that we need to do. It doesn't matter whether you're in the program or not. So I think Dato' Subra will also mentioned just now that the relevant bodies are also important. So every step that we do, we have to refer. We can't simply do it without any approval. So that's how things are going to be done now, even though in training. So
It's a bit difficult, isn't it? It's like, you've got restrictions to work with.
True, yeah. So we don't want to break any rules. We don't want to pay any fine, but we also want to win goal. You see, we also want to have result.
Yes.
But can you imagine? The coaches wants goal, everybody wants goal, but you can only do this much.
Yes, correct.
How? So maybe I and Dato' Subra will have to find a magic lamp. So a genie. Am I right, Dato'?
Maybe when you find that genie, you can even ask him to get rid of the pandemic. That'd be better, isn't it?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
If I may add on, we are being a member of the international bodies like International Paralympic Committee and other international sports federation. They are constantly feeding us reports about how pandemic is being handled by various countries, so in certain sports. So we use those guidelines, especially from IPC, International Paralympic Committee. They are in consultation with WHO and top level. So these are world standards practices. So we try to disseminate those kind of information to the authorities here and also to the association. Okay, you want to play with football, this is what you must do, and you can do, you cannot do, So those are little things we have to share as well.
That's brilliant. Okay. Now, Dato Sri, you mentioned earlier something about digital training methods. So I believe that you have already, you guys have already somehow thought of things through and looking for other options and methods of training if, this whole CMCO extends. So maybe you can walk us through.
I will only give a small gist of it because I do not want to, jump the gun with ISN. I think the digital training it's not only basically looking at the physical of because ISN is sports science.
Yeah.
Means you look at your muscle, your sports, your movement, how high you can jump, how fast can you go. So that's one thing that's important as well. But what you need to do is that the athlete needs to put in data or key in or know that there is a program for them on the phone or for them to know that they have to reach a certain level to reach a high speed. For example, now they will digitalize it, program whereby during CMCO, during there's no training and all that, but you have to do it on your own no matter what. You must reach a certain pace. So I think I don't want to say more. I don't want also to itu pecah lubang. I don't want to. It's a launch that we will do soon. So it's a secret actually. So I think if the athletes have that module in terms of very simple is to have it on your phone. So then basically you will know the whole training and you will know the performance. Even though then you don't sit at home and thinking that you're going to lose. You feel lethargic. You feel demoralized. So you have things that you look forward to. Then you have to key in your diet, what you eat, what you do every single. So everything has been data. So then along when you get the data, then you know roughly within 3 or 6 months whether you'll be able to reach that level or whether you could compete. So from there, we can also compare data because this thing has been done back in 2018, but maybe the Malaysian sports industry has not, maybe they picked it up, maybe they find the right time. I'm being nice actually. To be frank, we're losing out with the Europeans, with other Asian countries that is hyper. I know ahead of us. So I think I don't want to. I'm not condemning, but I'm telling the truth. The truth hurts, but that's the fact. I don't like to do sugarcoating. I'm very honest, and I want people to be honest with me as well. Absolutely. As I say, Mr. President, you're not doing a good job. Better tell. Then we can get better. So. So that's how I approach things, and I don't want to break the surprises, but we'll do something soon. So sorry about that. I just said a little bit in there.
He didn't give us the whole picture, but he gave us a little bit of a hint,
So imagine you have one app that has psychological, teaching, looking at you're taking pictures of yourself. It's a complete software that would make the athletes, whether they are home, they are in Kampong Ulu Tembeling, whether they're in Johor, Kedah, Sarawak, they can do it, and coaches can monitor it anytime, 24 hours. Brilliant. And they cannot lie. So then if they lie, they kena lah, but rotan ka, I don't know, but at least we monitor them.
Brilliant. Wow. I cannot wait for this to be unleashed, but it's exciting to know that this is already in the plans, Dato Subra, what about other alternative training options? Have you been working on anything, throughout this year, other than, actually going down to the field? Because obviously that was not possible.
Okay. Just to add on to Dato Sri's mention that digital, I think this is going to be the way forward in the future. We have been lagging behind. It has always been come together, is under supervision kind of thing. Yeah. But now, with this digitalization and digital age, it has got to be left to the individual. You want to bring in glory for yourself and the country, use this a program you need to follow, you need to instill self-discipline first. I think that's very important for an athlete. So this I wouldn't say it's blessing in disguise, but not at this time. But this is the way forward.
Yeah.
Okay, coming to
Yeah.
your question, we monitor very closely, as I told you, with MSN and wait for the directives that are issued by MKN and things like that. So, for an example, in June this year, we had MSN because we are only focusing on the top athletes, the elite group, who have been selected, who are under payroll of the government, who are expected to compete in international tournaments. So they are all under MSN program. Okay. I think there's somebody. So this group, so MSN, when the SOP was a bit relaxed in June,
Yep.
we organized a 1 month training called Road to Tokyo (RTT). So the government got together the top athletes in Kabupaten. They were housed for a month, and we had to bring them back to they've been what do you call relaxing at home all the time. So we had to bring them back and hey, hello, Olympics are coming, Paralympics are coming. Remind them, get them into shape again, and so we did some programs like that. After that, but ever since June, some of the rules have been a bit relaxed now. So there are certain activities which have been programmed by various, because different sports have got different training programs. So we, as a coordinator, we just see to that the associations get an opportunity to do it. So if they need letters with the authorities, we provide them the letter, the support thing, and all this thing. So we are a coordinating body for them. And of course, if they don't want to do anything, there's nothing much we can do also at the same time. But see, it's again, being sportsmen, they will not keep quiet.
Of course, of course. I think being a sports person, the moment you are idle, you feel like your life is wasting, wasting away, and you're like, please get me on something quick. So I can only imagine what they were going through, throughout the whole year. So yeah.
Yeah, Meg, just to add on the I said just now, Dato Subra also said the digitalized, training and all that. So we should be celebrating because our Squad Terjun Negara that they did a competition online. You see what they did was they are in Bukit Jalil at the aquatic center. So they had an online competition. They recorded all the jumps and all that. So we won basically. So Panala Renung and Manji, they won Leong Manji. So they won this first Malaysian online.
Wow.
That's why. So today we just got to do. So it's quite. We could always use them as an example. So I think that in the sports, I did mention this in MSN. I think that Subra should be the witness of it. I think 2 months ago, that we could do on a track. It's all video cam. And we can also do it all over the world, and they can do it in Bukit Jalil. But that if we're going to follow the European time, it's going to be maybe 8 p.m. at night or 9 p.m. at night. We have to run. So the athletes have to, because in Europe, it'll be around 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So this is what we want to get them to use, even though that you don't feel the competition or the competing with any other athletes beside you, but it doesn't stop you not to to join on any tournament. But at least when the pandemic is cleared, we are not we're not left behind. We are not short those kids. So these are the things that we should be proud of.
I am
Just
super
update,
proud,
yeah.
and I'm super excited. I did not know that such a thing existed, but it's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, do you see this as the way forward? Should this pandemic continue? I mean, will we have more online competitions?
I think we should, but it looks funny and crazy, but that's how to move forward. You don't want to be left behind.
Absolutely.
So I think I do also do WhatsApp call with my wife. We also fight over WhatsApp calls, so over the phone. So that's nothing new for all of us. So competition is also fighting, you see. So I fight over the phone, video call. They fight between countries, so it's okay.
they got at least they got reward lah, Dato.
I no reward.
You've been in the doghouse for a while.
I get the couch. The couch. I got that one.
Well, if you
So
just joined us, welcome to AFO Live. This afternoon, I am speaking to the big guns of the Paralympic Council of Malaysia. We've got Dato Sri Megat and also First Admiral Dato Subra. They're walking us through the challenges that the whole Paralympic Council have faced throughout 2020. And I think it's going to be a really good future that we're heading to, because these two gentlemen have thought of ways to work through these challenges, and we'll be implementing interesting stuff to come. Dato Sri Megat has only mentioned a little bit about the digitalization, but we hope to see that in the future. You know, if you're watching and you want to drop us a line this afternoon, please do drop us a line in the comment section. We've got Jen Wong who says hi, Dato Sri Megat, and First Admiral Dato Subra. We've also got June who says that yes, she also feels bored staying at home. We can only imagine the athletes. And William who says awesome to the two of you who have joined us this afternoon. Now, this is a question that I've always had in my mind. How do you discover new athletes? How do you discover new para athletes?
I think what we have planned, Mac, in PCM is basically we do collaboration with the ministry, and also we have developed this program called iTalent that will seek new talent. So what we did was we have started with Perak State, and then we are going down to each state lah. So the session will be roughly about 4 days session that we will do. So we will introduce the organization of para sports, and then we will understand the special needs of each classification. Means for each, the basic word is that every disabilities that you have. For example, if you don't have a limb, you don't have a side of vision and all that. So we would make sure that we identify, and also we will go to every district and level, because we have done in Teluk Intan and Taiping, and we want to move forwards down south to Malacca, to Negeri Sembilan and to Johor, and then after that, the next more state will be in Sarawak and Sabah. But I think the current situation to conduct this program is that you have to be one-on-one. You have to do a lot of touching. Means you have to do a lot of physical assessment that is based on the classification. So we might have a bit difficulty, because we do not want people to think that COVID and all that. But we're still trying. But we're not going to stop do this. I think Dato Subra and team and the whole PCM, we have prepared maybe an SOP how for us to do this. But what we mentioned, that maybe we need to get approval again. So that's where we are now.
All right. That doesn't have anything to add.
I think that one of the biggest challenges that we have in para sports is creating the awareness to the handicapped group of people, and especially the parents, that there are certain sports that can be played by certain handicapped people, right? We categorize handicappedness in three major things. Either you're physically handicapped, you're what do you call slow learner, intelligent. They're slow learners there, and then number three, you're visual, you're blind. So these are the three groups: slow learners, physical, and blind. So under that, you come under many subcategories, right? So after Rio in 2016, the awareness in para sports shot up. Everybody, parents were calling, hey, I think my child is handicapped a bit, but I think he can play badminton. How do I go about it? So this awareness was creeping, and people do. Of course, there are some students, some of them, they were badminton players before, but they had an accident, lost one leg. And then they want to continue playing badminton. Can it be done? Yes. So there are many categories. All right. I give you an example. If you take 100 meters for able body, there's one goal for one man, one goal for one woman. Correct? There are only two gold medals. But in Paralympics, for gold medal in 100 meters, there's 16 gold for men, and 12 gold for women.
For women,
Wow.
How? Because the blind will run with the blind. The guy will run with the
So they've got subcategories.
Subcategories, all right?
Okay.
So this is the awareness that the biggest challenge that we have to create. So that is why, like what Dato Sri mentioned, we're going down to Perak. It's an outreach program. Right? We have to go down to the ground to go and find these people and help them and get we want to engage the state executive council, there's Exco Sukan, because we can only stretch ourselves that far, but then
Yeah.
people must also do some self-help now. But we,
Yes.
and then Dato, if I may to add on, is just that Mac, we have to be to face the reality, and I do not like to always mention positive stories or good stories. It's just that good is not a problem. What I'm trying to mention is that what Dato Subra mentioned, in able category, it's only one goal for men, one goal for women, and also 16 categories for the disabled. Is sometimes even in our current national, I'm not naming people, I'm not naming association, people who's in the sports industry has been very long industry.
Yeah.
They sometimes they look down towards para. They look down towards all these disabled sportsmen. So I would like to remind them, if one day if you're able and you lost any limb or you become handicapped, and I can guarantee you that you can never be like what our para athlete is, and because you think that life is easy because they were born or they were lived or they had a mishap, they had an accident, they live with it, they became champions, they make our nation proud, they win gold, they win medals. But have you thought of making that? So that mentality that the current sports industry has, they need to change, because that's why we are still labeled in Malaysia as a third world developed third world country. We're not even developed. So when we have people who are in the industry for so long, so-called legend, so-called old-timer, Malay like to say otai sukan.
Yeah.
But if you have that low-class mentality, you're as good as rubbish. So I, as a father with my daughter who has a medical condition, that she has a hydrocephalus, I do have a foundation that I look at all the kids, and I told the parents that what Dato Subra said, don't lose hope. Your kids can play sport. It doesn't matter whether you can represent a country, represent a state, but then your kid has to do something. You have to be proud, and I'm proud of my daughter. I'm proud of all of them, and that's why I'm against people who has all this low mentality, who thinks that these people are, hey, come on. In Malaysia, who has won the gold medal? Only the Paralympic, the para athletes. And please, we are so proud of them. And tell so I am not. If the person looks at watching this, he better know that I'm talking about him. Actually, so I want to tell them that as long as I'm here, as long as I'm as the PCM president, and I will be, no matter whether I'm president or not, I will fight to the end. Till my old, I will do it. Come, don't come and fight with me. So that's what I'm trying to tell. Please don't ever do that. Yeah, that's why. So I'm not trying to be a champion, Mac, but we live in a harmony. It's a peace and peace country, peaceful. So why don't we think like an adult? We think more like a human being. More
Yeah.
We only live for a number of years, so let's do good.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
No, I think you are
sorry.
absolutely right. You are absolutely right, because there's a lot of mentality that we need to change these days, and I think in the year 2020 we should have already surpassed that. We should be able to think a little bit wider and be very inclusive of everything. Exactly. So well said, Dato. I think I'm completely behind you for this one, because you are absolutely right. Dato Subra, you were about to say something.
Yes. Just to add in, the population, what percentage of our population, the world average says 15% of our world population are handicapped in some form or another. And for Malaysia, it's 14.2.
Okay.
We'll be surprised. That comes to a few million people in this country who are handicapped.
Yeah.
But you don't see them, you don't see them. Those registered with the social welfare department is only 480,000 or 500,000 only.
Yeah.
So there's a big group of people who are in our society who are handicapped, and we being the sole body in this country to drive para sports, we have to reach
Keep going.
Yeah. Absolutely.
King Kong.
Brilliant. Okay, so we have a question here that's on the comment section coming from Simon. He says, do you have any strategies to engage more Malaysians to support the Paralympians?
Dato, can you answer that for me?
Sure.
I like to add on.
Yes. This is one of the biggest challenges that we face, and because, as what Dato Sri mentioned earlier, some people did not see para sports in the correct perspective as able sports. All right, it took us a long time to get recognition
Sure.
Yes.
for para. So there are two major things that has happened over this past 2-3 years, i.e., for the first time, Paralympic Council has been included in the Sports Act, uh, 2018 April, under YB Khairi's initiative. We have managed to put all the time, only the Olympic Council was in the Sports Act. So Paralympic Council was not in the Sports Act, even though we have existed for more than 20 years. All right, so it took us time to be put in. That's number one. Number two, all right, to get equal recognition, the government policy changed 5 years ago, when we got the gold medal in Rio.
Yep.
So everybody was waiting for Ling Chong Wei to get his gold medal for his collect 1 million. We collected ours. We got
3
the 1
million.
million. They got 3 million. not
3
1
million.
So the government policy changed. Just to before that, the compensation if you win a gold medal at Olympic or Paralympic is different. No?
300,
Yes.
300 Dato?
The able body got more than the disabled.
Yeah, able. So still there's a gap.
Yeah.
Double standards. Double standards.
I think we need to balance that out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now it's balanced. Now it's
Yeah.
equal. So
Equal.
that was a very good positive move by the government. So at Paralympic Council, what we have done is a new team of office bearers now under the leadership of Dato Sri Megat. So we have gone through a rebranding phase. We have to. These are all. We have the strength in our organization. I.e., we deliver the first 3 gold at Olympic level, Paralympic level. So we have done a lot of housekeeping and make sure that all our support systems are in correct places. All our stakeholders, there are many stakeholders with us.
Yeah.
We must make sure that we engage them. Of course, the major stakeholder is the Rakyat themselves.
Yeah.
So we have to reach out. So we have engaged professional bodies to solicit with sponsors and all things. So come forward, because now there are a lot of private companies who are willing to come forward and provide assistance to us, because they now see the worthiness of helping para athletes and all things. So they are very soon we will be doing a major. We will not do very much this year because no activities. We cannot display anything.
Yep.
So we have engaged professionals to drive para sports sponsorship, because whatever donations that are given to Paralympic Council is tax exempted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So companies are most willing to come forward and give them, because they can
Exemption.
have exemption from it. So this is some privilege, and Malaysian society is a very caring society. So I hope that we can drive our sponsorship program with this new professional that we have engaged.
Brilliant.
Yep.
That's
I got nothing to say.
You say I just wanted to add on.
Little bit. Well said by my Secretary General Dato Subra. I'm proud to have all the new office bearer. It's not individual effort. It's basically a team effort. So everyone contributed. All the EXCO members contributed, and each of us has our own strength. And basically, what Dato Subra did is sum up of the whole EXCO members, and we have our own role. But still, money I have to do. So that's basically what I'm good at a little bit, So what we want to do now is basically to get the corporates to come in, that you get tax exemption, and I want them to invest in para sports. So basically, we're not labeling any other sports to be, lame, boring. No. It's just that they need to know more about para than the whole exposure that they will get, because we have a very good platform, we have a good relationship with the media, we have a good relationship with you guys, we have a tremendous support especially parents and all that. Like Dato Subra said, 15% of the population in Malaysia is registered with KU, but still we're lacking that registering with Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat. We have, let's say, 32 million, we have 15%. That's roughly around 4.1 million, not mistaken. 4.5 to 4.7 million, about that. But then registered only is about 525,000 people. So I do want everybody, it does not mean that you daftar, you register with Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat, you have to be poor. It's not about being poor or rich. It's about making sure that the data, the government has the data. So we need to know, for example, it doesn't matter whether you're rich, you're poor, you're not, whoever, as long as you're a Malaysian citizen, whatever the government's going to give it to you, whatever the government's going to subsidize for you, you are allowed to get it. It doesn't matter whether the parents is a well-off parents that you don't want to categorize. To me, it's wrong. I had that mentality. I have to accept it. I had that mentality whereby, I feel shy. Actually, no. But we know that the most caring government, and I'm not being politically driven, I'm saying from my heart, and as for a citizen as well, but we have the best infrastructure, the best policy to help especially the disabled. So I want every parent out there, every single parent, brother, sister, if you have your siblings who are any member of the family who is disabled or has, just register. It's nothing wrong. So at least we know the data. We could do something for everyone. We can come together, and when we are together, we can ask a lot of things from the government. Am I right, Dato?
Yes, sir.
Well, when you're together, you're stronger as well. So that's definitely something to look forward to.
True.
So I love this conversation because we started off talking about the challenges that the Paralympic Council has faced throughout the year 2020. But we've moved on, to create awareness as well. And I think we need to be more aware about everything that's happening around us, especially our disabled friends, our Paralympians as well. Now, we've got some messages on our comment section. Linda Wong says, well said to Dato Sri Megat, when you said just now, about, people being aware and stuff like that. Absolutely. June says she fully supports the PCM. Linda also says that she has joined marathons and she loves seeing handicapped participants in wheels. So she salutes them. And also, for those of you who need more information about the Paralympic Council, you can actually head on here. This is the site to go to. Okay. Now, I think a lot needs to be done still, to make sure that people are more aware of, our Paralympians and what we're contributing and stuff like that. But honestly, coming from the council itself, what else do you hope to see being done for the Paralympians?
Dato, you go first.
I must say that as I mentioned earlier, the stakeholders, the government is very positive in receiving the feedback from us, because we manage about 24 associations. There are 24 members. They are, because each sport has got one particular association.
Yeah.
So on our part, we must connect this association together with the stakeholders, all right, and make sure that they are especially the good governance of their associations, all right, because it's public money and all these things. And we all are volunteers, all right? Associations are run by volunteers. Only big, strong associations like badminton, BAM, and
Football, FAM.
FAM. They are a little bit richer, and they have permanent staffs and people running it very effectively. But most of our associations, they are run primarily by volunteers. So to keep this spirit of volunteerism going, it is a big challenge for us. Right? So and the government has been supporting. Of course, there's only that much the government can do. You can't milk the government dry. You have to be self-driven as well. Self-sustainability. So that is the biggest challenge I think we have. And but we are moving. It will take time. We are moving, and hopefully we will come when all this pandemic thing is all over. I think when we start back our thing, we will. We have a lot of time. Past 10 months, we have been thinking, okay, this is what we are going to do. It's about time we put these thoughts into action next year.
Absolutely, execute it, huh?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
As usual, I like to add on only. I think like Dato, that's very wise what Dato Subra has said. I think more. I would comment more on commercial. I think now we have worked together with Senator Rasadi Barazi to use the platform as the wakil as the representative of OKU as a senatorship in Dewan Negara. So we're trying to use the platform. That's one. Number two, I think what we're trying to do is that like Dato Subra said, we have the international affiliates, that means our international body that we have. So we would like to engage more on their programs. How do they manage it? How do they make it awareness in their certain in countries like in maybe Middle East, in Europe as well as in US. So we might need to adapt or get some leads or some idea or some sponsorship overseas that we could create a community. We already have a community in Malaysia. But which is that we need to create more fun that people want to come in, because if you look at the millennials, they do not want to hang out in the hot sun that much. So then we have to fine tune how maybe we would like to make the community the whole nation to understand that para sports are OKU. It's nothing. It's not something that you look down to. It's something that fun. We want to make people's heart. At least if you don't know anything about disabled, but at least you could contribute. In terms of if you host a concert, then we'll bring up all the OKUs, people could see what they've done and all that. So we get people feel the love and a humane a bit towards the whole. So from there, I think that if we do any other events in future for any other sports association, when they request for funding, request for help, they will be much more easier in future. So that's why we're trying to do our very best, just to make sure that, when it comes to PCM, when it comes to all the OKUs or the sports, we want it to be positive. We want it to be, it's something community that we have to come together. It's not just because of, only WWF, the World Federation, you only sponsor for the animal and all that. We don't want. Yeah. Okay, you can do that as well, but we'll also think about other people as well. So it's not about mereka OKU minta sedekah, we don't want that to change that mindset,
that perception,
perception. So that's very important that we do that changes, because only a developed nation or to have a very good community is basically here.
Yes.
If here is like this, like this lah. So no matter what you do, if you don't change the mentality, you don't have a very positive mind, you don't have a good look at it, I think we will never succeed. But then it's not an easy task. It's not even an uphill task. It's an uphill stages by stages. But we can do it. And we are here as the EXCO, the whole association, we are there to do, and we're voluntarily doing it. And we're doing our very best also. So that's only Meg I want to say. Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah,
all right. So
you.
we are coming to the end of the show already. But before I let you go and before we wrap up the show, I'm going to ask you 5 quick questions and you have to give me 5 quick answers. The first thing that come to your mind. Now, I've been told that it's not really that easy, but hey, sometimes it can be depending on what really is on your mind. Okay. So the segment's called What's on Your Mind. If you are both ready, I will start with the first question. Ready? Good. Dato Subra, you look you look worried.
Yeah, exam time.
It's okay, you've got time, don't worry. Okay, ready?
Yep.
My first question is, describe working with the Paralympians in one word.
Exciting.
Passion.
Beautiful. Now, if you could compete with one of our para athlete, who would it be?
For me, Latif Romli, high jump.
Oh, wow.
I want to beat Rizwan Fuzi in 100 meters.
Oh, wow, that's a really big task.
He's a world champion.
It's a challenge. Now, the third question. What do you want to see more in the Paralympic sports in the future?
Dato, you go first.
Okay, I would like to see more sports being competed and a wider base of new talents come in, so that we can choose, the country can have a pool of talents to pick from.
Nice.
I want more women para lady athletes. I want that more.
Okay, nice. Now, the fourth question. What do you wish people would know more about our Paralympians or our para-athletes?
They are funny. Nice people.
Nice. Dato Subra?
I didn't really get the question.
What do you wish people would know more about our Paralympians? Yeah.
I wish they, first of all, people get educated more about the types of para sports
Yeah.
and how do these handicapped people manage to overcome their handicapness and compete. And
Absolutely.
that is something I wish people will think.
I cannot even fathom that, okay? I'm so able and I cannot even do sports. So, hats off to our para athletes. Brilliant.
Same here, Mac. Don't worry, same here. You're not alone.
Okay, my final question if there's one thing you'd like to tell our para athletes that you have not told them yet, what would that be?
Well,
don't break any CMCO rules, please. You know what? I think we've told them a lot. We mentioned to them. They are such good kids, good people, good athletes. Very disciplined, very obedient.
Yeah.
And I'm not being biased by saying only the Paralympics, but if you tell me, I think that the Subra, the coaches, the whole actually, we have tried to tell them the very best. But then I think if they want to know again, I would just want to tell them that I love them. I love them like my brothers. That's it. I could always say. I think I speak all my heart to them, but I could always say again that I love all of them.
Aww.
As a brother.
That's
I think we handling para handicapped people, especially sports and all things, we have to filter a lot of things because we have to empathize and understand the difficulties they go through.
Yeah.
So we sort of very careful in how we talk to them because they can be sensitive. All right.
Yes.
So what needs to be said to whom and what the time and place, we have to be very careful. We cannot simply scolding an able body and scolding are two different
Two different things.
Two
Yeah.
different things. We cannot.
Yeah.
So that's what I would like to share.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Very. So much of love from the two of you. I love it. Dato Sri, you are an epitome of love. I really like that, and I think you've mentioned that many times. They are like your brothers and sisters, and you treat them with so much love. I love it. Okay, so we've come to the end of the show already. Now, before I let you go, any last words from the both of you regarding the para athletes, maybe, or anything at all that you'd like to add before I let you go?
Dato, go. Dato, Subra.
Okay. To all those viewers and who are following, I hope you will be equally keen to understand and watch and support para sports as well. All right, because it's not only the able sports that are existing; they are also para sports, especially. So get to know this the world of para sports. That's what I would like to share.
Brilliant.
Dato Sri?
To me, is that to all Malaysians, watch out that we'll win more gold medals. More gold medals. You will make the country more proud. And I believe that, like Dato Subra said, look at us. Look at the team. Look at the para sports. Understand, believe in us. Making a nation proud, making a country proud. There's so many ways. So I would want, not only in sports, but also in education and also in any kind of activities or any kind of endeavor, let's make the country proud and let's love everyone, love the country, and let's fight for the best. Okay? So that's what I really hope from the public. Thank you, Meg. Yeah.
Very nice. I think with that, I would have to end the show this afternoon. Thank you so much for watching us right here on Facebook on Aforadio. Dato Subra, Dato Sri Megat. Thank you so much for joining me and enlightening us this afternoon. We shared so much, and I really hope that we've helped to broaden the minds of many people out there as well. And I, on behalf of Aforadio and everyone, we are very proud of our para athletes. Really, I've looked up to them for many, many years now. And I think, it is with that goal in Rio that everybody's eyes were open. It's like, okay, this is what our athletes are all about, So thank you for sharing those precious words of wisdom from all of us. thank you so much once again. And I'm going to wish you a fantastic day ahead. For those of you watching, don't forget, go check out their site and support them. They need all the support they can get from all of us. Till the next time, we'll see you again. Have a wonderful afternoon ahead. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so
Bye.
much, guys. Bye.
Thanks, Mac. Thanks. Have a good day, Mac. Bye. Thanks,
You
Dato.
too.
Call.
Thank you, that's great.
Okay, bye, 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 bye.